Whether or not you consider work as an extracurricular or something you will have to do during college anyways, this video will talk about how medical schools view certain kinds of work and what benefits you can get from that. I do want to preface by saying this is just informational, where I give tips on the medical school application process. If you are already working a job to pay the bills right now, I don't want you to compromise that based on anything I say in this video to try and pursue something else. First, we can start out by discussing the two categories of jobs that will be relevant in your application: clinical jobs versus non-clinical jobs. Clinical jobs as a pre-med student not only give you an opportunity to see the world of healthcare, but also earn money while doing it, so it's like killing two birds with one stone. Here are some examples of clinical jobs you might be able to find as a pre-med student. Unfortunately, these jobs typically require more of a time commitment, so depending on your class schedule, these might be jobs you have to pursue over a summer, during a gap year, or during a really light semester for you. I am sure you have heard of at least one of these jobs before, but if any of them stick out to you and you want to learn more about them, feel free to just Google what they are and what the responsibilities are. This list is by no means extensive. It's just a few examples of the more popular options for pre-med students. I will, however, go ahead and give my suggestions as to two that might be beneficial for you in the long term. Clinical research assistant might be the best job opportunity if you are able to get it. Not only will you get healthcare experience and get paid, but you will get research experience too. Imagine killing three birds with one stone. I'm also biased though, because that is the job that I worked in during my gap year. The other one that might be good is being a medical scribe. Once you make it to medical school, you will have to learn how to efficiently write patient notes, and if you already have experience typing notes as a scribe, you might have a slight advantage compared to your classmates when you make it to that stage. Non-clinical jobs can be literally anything, from working at a restaurant, a retail store, being a tutor, or even starting your own business. Anything that you are able to do that earns you money. I'll talk more about how medical schools look at non-clinical jobs later, but I just want to say that I know this might be ultimately the category you go for if you just need a flexible job that allows you to pay the bills at college. And that is totally fine. Schools are very understanding when students need to just work what they can to earn money. So going back to clinical jobs really quick, what are some of the best ways to find them? Well, lucky for you, we live in the age of the internet. So rather than awkwardly walking into some random medical center, you are able to use a number of job searches online specific to whatever position you are looking for. Here are a number of websites that I found you can search for medical jobs, but again, it isn't comprehensive at all, and I'm sure that there are dozens of job searching websites out there. Another option for you is if you have any family or friend connections with a healthcare worker, contact them. See if you could get a job position through them at whatever healthcare facility they work at, but honestly, if you can't figure out how to find a position, when in doubt, just use this amazing thing called Google. If you want to be a medical scribe, just Google medical scribe positions near me and see what comes up. And while clinical jobs might be great in a perfect world, what if you have to just work a non-clinical job while in college? Then that's totally fine, and guess what? While schools may like when students are able to work healthcare jobs, they also get impressed when you're able to work any job during college. It shows a lot of discipline for a student to work and earn money during a time in their life where they could honestly be doing a lot more fun things. Also, it is a very realistic scenario that a student will have to find a job they can work in the mornings or evenings around their classes so that they can pay off student loans wherever they live, food, basically all of the bills. Schools understand this. They don't expect everyone to be in a situation where they can just pick whatever job they want. Also, working at something like a restaurant can actually have some added benefits to your application. I've mentioned this in other videos, but medicine at the end of the day is a service industry. You are serving our patients as a physician, so even if you aren't getting clinical experience, working a service job can have a lot of parallels with medicine that you should absolutely talk about on your application and in interviews. I know this was a shorter video, but I wanted to give some final thoughts before we wrap up. You might be in a position where work isn't really an extracurricular, but rather a necessity as you go through college. Having to work your way through college builds a lot of character and will absolutely benefit you in your application. Now, if you are someone with a bit more freedom with your time or circumstances, then try to consider getting a summer job in healthcare or if you decide to take a gap year, get a clinical job. Having clinical experience in the form of a job will not only look really good on your application, but it may actually offset a slightly lower GPA. Remember that schools don't just look at GPA and MCAT scores, they holistically review your application. If you show that you are committed to healthcare through your job and really talk about the clinical experience you gained on your application, they might look the other way if your GPA is on the lower side. All of this being said, at the end of the day, you need to make sure you find a balance. Do not let work consume you as a student since you have many other responsibilities, and be smart about when you work. You will have to worry about other things like classes, labs, other extracurricular activities, preparing for the MCAT, doing your application, and many other things. If you have a busy semester, don't try to cram in a job just because I said it might look good, since overdoing it might negatively affect other aspects of your life. Work can be very taxing, especially as a student, so while yes, having that experience will be good for you, don't prioritize it to the point where you forget about all the other things you need to stay on top of.